Hey, so I'm working with one of my clients right now, and we just got a massive breakthrough that I want to walk you through and kind of share with you because it brings up a really good, important point that so many people miss while they're trying to scale because they're focused on all the front end metrics like conversion rate and AOV and ROAS and all these things. This is actually a long term back end thing that I found that I want to walk you through. And it's so important when you're trying to scale, especially if you're in the seven figure going into eight figure range. Or if you're already eight figures trying to become multiple eight figures or nine figures, whatever. This is really important to understand. So I'm going to walk you through kind of her. I'm not going to share any client details, anything like that, or share my screen or none of that because I don't want to give away the client or any of her metrics. But I'm gonna look through this. So I'm looking. I actually built her. I'm building my own data dashboard. That's way better than anything else out there. And she's my first beta tester in it. And so we just got it, to where we can look at this accurately. And so what we found, and if you see me looking over, I'm looking at the data here. So I was looking through her retention and lifetime value stats or LTV stats. And what's crazy is, so I'm looking here, and let me actually change this. Uh, when I was first looking at it, I had like ascending from customers, like the most amount of customers, and most of her customers are increasing like around 50, 60% over the first year. All right. So from day one until day 30, 365, they've increased their value by, roughly, we'll just say 60%. As I'm looking through this, because I'm always trying to find the outliers, and in this data dashboard, it shows you not only that increase, like what that is from the time, from day one to 365, so like the 1 year lifetime value, but it also shows you the percent above the average. So like in the dashboard, we show you an average of all of your all of your SKUs, what that average increase is. But then with each one, it shows you the increase from day one to day 365. And it also shows you uh, essentially how efficient each SKU is compared to the rest of the SKUs. So if the average is 60%, if I look and I look at the biggest increases she's getting, well, we're not going to look at that one because the increase the increase is 3,494, but that's from a newsletter, and it's based on one customer. Looks like a test customer. So if I go to ones that are actually basically, as I was looking through this, I found a pocket of SKUs that, and let me type this in. Uh, let's see. Okay, so if I'm looking at this, oh, where is it? There we go. Okay, so there's a pocket of SKUs that she has that are way above, like around four times what the average is. All right, so I want you to think about this for your product, whatever you sell in the front end. You need to be looking at the tail end and looking at the differences in that day one to year one growth. All right, the LTV growth over the first year. You have to be looking at those stats because you might, let's just say you have three front end products and they all have the same conversion rate, same EPC, AOV, ROAS, all the things. But you have one product in there of those three that's getting you four times the amount of contribution margin collected over the first year. Which one do you think is going to make you more profitable? Obviously, that one, right? So if you were looking at this, and she didn't have any of this data before working with me, we're going through this now and looking for these opportunities, and that's literally why I'm building this data dashboard to show you these opportunities, to take everything that I teach and kind of put it in a framework, into a dashboard that says, hey, look at this. Oh my God, here's your lever. Go pull that. That's kind of what we're working towards here. So what do you think our next move is? Well, now I have, and I said, oh my God, look at this. Like, this is massive. And by the way, it is enough customers. It's not like it has like five customers and it's just a fluke. It's a lot of customers. I'm trying to be as vague but specific as I can here. it's a lot of customers. It's valid data to be able to show us these trends. And so now our next move is, okay, well, let's start comparing all of the funnel conversion rates, and we can start to map out what it looks like if she takes this to her various traffic channels. What is that going to look like over the first year of her lifetime? What is that going to look like in terms of profit that that funnel creates for her business? All right. So that's kind of the next move we make. I just wanted to make this video to show you that the importance of getting data like this, whether like I don't even have this as of June 26th. This isn't even live. I'm hoping in the next 4 to 6 weeks that I actually have customers for this. So I literally don't even have anything to sell you right now. Whether you use my dashboard when I come out with it, whether you use someone else's dashboard, you have to be looking at this stuff. I cannot emphasize this enough, how important it is to look at your numbers and be data driven, look at your economics and see, and I just talked about this in the last video that I did, be able to model out what different scenarios look like in your business, because that's now what we're going to be doing. We found a pocket of gold. So now we're going to go mine that gold. And I'm going to go literally after I make this video, I'm going to go, and she's gathering up some data. I'm going to go gather up a little bit more data. We're going to come together. All right. And we're going to map out a game plan of like, hey, we just found this huge vein of gold. How do we now mine this? What resources do we now have to put into this, knowing how much more valuable those customers are worth? Like she's getting about a 3.5 times, like a 3.5 LTV to CAC ratio from day one, to 365, compared to like whatever the other one was, like 0.75 or whatever the other ones were, or 1.25, right? So like instead of focusing, if you weren't looking at this back end information, you might look at the front end and be like, oh, this one has a high conversion rate, so therefore that's our best product. No, you have to look at the whole life cycle. All right. You have to look at, yes, it's a good conversion rate. Yes, it gets you customers, but what do those customers turn into in terms of contribution margin? Because if you have one that's a really high conversion rate and you're like breaking even on your traffic source, it could have a 99% conversion rate. But if those customers aren't worth anything to you after they buy, she literally has SKUs in here that are negative because the product didn't hit, refunds are high, and so her actual the contribution margin collected from day 1 to 65 actually goes negative. All right. So obviously we're not going to, we're going to ignore those, get rid of those because they're not doing very well. But she has ones that are bringing in multiple times what that first order was. And that's before, like this is a new client. That's before even getting into any of the improvements on customer ascension and on conversion rates and on AOV and on all the things that I'll be working with her on. But the point of this is, if you're not looking at your back end data to determine your front end strategy, you are losing money. All right. And maybe you're not losing money. You may have accidentally come across something that is just working. But in most cases, you're going to be losing money, or you're basically going to be guessing. All right. And that's one of the things that I work with my clients is we got to get out of this. We got to get out of this mode of guesswork, and we got to get into data-driven decisions. All right. Get rid of friggin' guesswork. It doesn't work. Okay. This whole concept of just flinging spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks does not work. It works in some cases, like an ad creative, right? If you're trying to find that big hook that's going to work, that might work in a sense, because you should still be strategic about what you're testing and have a hypothesis going into each test and be testing various hooks and different angles to different ICPs and different avatars and things like that, right? All that. But the point is, if you are, I would say even starting in 6 figures, like this is the stuff that takes a business from 7 to 8 figures. It's the stuff that takes a business from 8 to 9 figures. This is the stuff that all 8 and 9 figure companies are doing. So if you are not doing it and you are not 8 or 9 figures, that's a pretty good clue of what you should be doing to get to 8 or 9 figures, right? I always look at the thing like, what are the people that are ahead of me? What are they doing that I'm not? All right. And I'm always trying to think about that. in terms of my own business, in terms of my client businesses, like they're here and they want to be here. Okay, well, if we're here and we want to be here, and all we have to do is just look at the people who are here and figure out what they're doing that we're not. This is one of those things. All right. So if you're not doing this, please do it. Please be data driven, whether it's working with any stuff of mine or not. Okay, I don't really care about that. My goal here is to serve you, to help you grow as an entrepreneur, whether you work with me or not, right? Whether you tell anybody about me or not, you're listening to this or watching this, whatever you're doing, and so I want you to get this value, and it makes me happy to know that I'm helping you. So take this, run with it, make sure that you have your own data dashboard, make sure that you're tracking how much people are worth to you over time, specifically on a contribution margin basis, not on a gross basis, because you may show a 300% growth over that first year, but if your contribution margin is 30% versus another one has one that's only 200%, but their contribution margin is 60%, right? The one that's has lower growth but a higher contribution margin wins. All right. So that's why I talk all the time, and I repeat the same things over and over and over to make sure that it's really sticking in, that you're doing things on a contribution margin basis, you're doing things data driven, you're looking at the long tail effects of things and not just what happens like on day one when you acquire that customer, the first 30 days or whatever. Look at things from a holistic long-term point of view. You will do better over time. This is not a change that's going to happen like day one, boom, right? We're looking over a year. So we're trying to plan out a year. Okay, if we get a bunch of customers here, but we know we're gonna, 3.5 times their value, great. Break even up front. Give the affiliates, give the Meta, whatever, all that money up front. We don't really care about that. We just want to maximize the number of customers because we know how much they're worth over time. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that is clear for you and gave you something to think about or something to do, like get a data dashboard or whatever that is. I hope it sparked you into action in some way. If it did, make sure you subscribe, like the post or whatever you're looking at, comment on it. Let me know that this helped you. Otherwise, I hope that you have a great rest of your day. And again, just do something with this. All right. Have an awesome day. Appreciate you.